Hi, and welcome to Canberra Metalheads. I'm your host, J Decay, and this is the Canberra Metalheads International Top 5 of 2019 special. I'm here with
Cat Decay
and Nekros
from Unholy Vendetta. So we're going to round out the year with our top 5s. We're going to hit it straight off with Cat's top 5. Let's do that now. This is Canberra Metalheads International Top 5 of 2019. First up from Cat's list, we had Amon Amarth, Shield War, from the album Berzerker.
Then we had Make Them Suffer, Hollowed Heart, from the album of the same name.
Then we had Whitechapel, When a Demon Defiles a Witch, from the album The Valley.
Then we had Abbath, The Harvest Pyre, from Outstrider. So tell us about those 4 songs, Kat, and why did you choose them?
Well, Amon Amarth are one of my favourite bands of all time. Really interesting about this song was that the video for the Shield War was actually directed and produced by the same team that did the Amon Amarth documentary Pursuit of the Vikings, which is another really, really good Amon Amarth song. Make Them Suffer are one of my favourite Australian bands, and I couldn't have a top 5 without an Australian band on there, so good to see that those guys are still going strong. Abbath, I love Immortal, and I love Abbath, so, I had to have Abbath on my list. And Whitechapel, they're another one of my favourite bands. Really interesting video clip with this one. It's a bit of a horror themed video, but it's actually the song itself is actually about the vocalist's mum, who would see demons outside or by her fireside. And yeah, the song's not actually what you think it's about, but it's, the way they interpret it is it changed to give a better flow. So yeah.
Excellent. So, what's your favourite song for 2019?
Well, it's by another one of my favourite bands that I got to see not too long ago, and it is Fleshgod, and the song is Sugar of Veleno.
Fallujah, Ultraviolet, from their album Undying Light.
We then had Vitriol, The Parting of the Neck, from their album Pain Will Define Their Death.
And then Cattle Decapitation, Bring Back the Plague, from Death Atlas.
And then Aspherium, The Beckoning Spire, from their album The Embers of Eternity.
Yes.
So, tell us a bit about your top 5.
Man, dude, it was hard deciding which one was the favourite. Vitriol was so brutal. When I first saw that Vitriol video of them, the playthrough, I was shocked. I'm like, he's playing circus music with his hands, man. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Skills. And Cattle Decap, I've always liked Cattle Decap, and they just keep being consistent. They keep bringing good music to the table. Aspherium, they're lesser known, but they are awesome. I recommend checking them out on every level. The only reason I picked the Beckoning Spire is because it was the only song that was 5 minutes on the whole album. There are heaps of great tracks on the album, but you just can't take up 9 minutes of air.
Yeah. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, mate. But as far as my favourite, it had to be Nile, Long Shadows of Dread from Vile Nilotic Rites. Had to be. I walked around with my phone in people's faces for weeks being like, have you heard this? I'm not going to do that.
So, when we were prepping for this, I think everyone had this song in their list. Not Kat, I don't think, but me and Nick were arguing over who got to have Nile and who got to...
for Nile.
You won.
Actually, there was a few of them like that.
Yeah. I think Cattle Decap was another one that we fought.
Well, Vitriol too, for lovers of tech death. To see something like that and be like, no, it's my favourite.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, even Abbath and...
Abbath!
So we're going to hit it with Nile, Long Shadows of Dread, from Vile Nilotic Rites. Scoot. Yeah, so
Jay, why don't you tell us about your choices?
Disembodied Phenomena, the single.
Then we had Rings of Saturn, The Husk, and Jay, I'm going to need your help to pronounce the album name.
I don't know how to pronounce it either. I think it's GIDIM.
Let's go get him.
Yeah, GIDIM.
Or is it GIDIM?
Yeah. They talk in alien language, and I'm pretty sure it's GIDIM.
Cool.
It's GIDIM and Bingo was his name.
Yeah. Well, the last album was what? Ludicrous.
Something like that.
Rock.
You know what's
Just keeping us on our toes.
Atula, or whatever.
You know what's real easy to say? Disentomb, the Decaying Light from the album The Decaying Light.
Yeah, sick. And Wormed, Cryptobiquity from Metaportal. Yeah, so I really like Hollow Prophet. Seen them on Slam Worldwide, and they're great. Rings of Saturn, because I like Rings of Saturn.
Yeah.
The greatest.
Top shelf shredders.
The greatest technical death metal writer of our time.
He's pretty good.
No, it's like, did you know that he put that up as his like self thing on his thing? Yeah.
I mean, shoot for the moon, man, and you might land in the sun.
Yeah.
I mean, wait.
When I met him, he was actually pretty humble.
Yeah.
Because like we got to play with him, and Lucas, man, nice guy. We got to interview him on the show. Yeah, he like people bullied him, man, and like beat him up. He was like on hiatus for nearly 2 years from being like bashed because other radio stations and newspapers and stuff kind of like negatively said that he was affecting the music scene and stuff like that.
That's
like,
just BS, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty crazy that can happen and like put one of the best technical death metal writers of our time out of action. Good thing that he stayed on in the background and kind of like
maybe channeled that,
dealt with it and kind of let his band stay on tour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so Disentomb, great Australian band. Love those guys. Wormed, I heard Wormed and I was like,
that's on my list. That's on my list.
Yeah, and plus Cryptobiquity's fun as shit to say.
Yeah.
Cryptobiquity.
Cryptobiquity.
Photosynthesis.
Yeah. So my top pick for 2019.
Yeah, I would have fought you for this too.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
I've been jamming this down everyone's throats too. You know, Veil of Pnath, The Darkest Gate, Accursed. Before we cut to it, thanks guys for coming in and sharing with us your favorites for 2019.
That's alright. It's too bad we didn't have more time to put more on. There were so many great bands in 2019. There were good albums.
And so many gigs.
And heaps from 2018 that I wanted to put on, but it sucked because I missed the title.
Yes, I don't know how many times we chose a 2018 album and there was like, no!
Benighted. Check that one out. Benighted.
Yeah.
Dogs always bite harder than their master.
Catch you on the flip side.
Stay brutal.
Ciao!